What's up guys, LeopoldTheBrave here, and for a while now I've been pondering what a potential sequel to Crash Team Racing, or Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, would be like. Now Canadian guy A, go subscribe to him, did a video recently that actually makes this topic a lot easier to think about. He mentioned how Crash Team Racing was evolving, and how some stuff implemented into Nitro Fueled, like the engine swaps, the drift class, and item balancing, could be made the base for the next Crash Team Racing game, so it can grow even more from there. And of course they do that, what would be the point in stripping away the improvements? But the thing I'm curious about is the character roster going to stay the same? And we'll answer and talk about that in a bit, but first let's go over some other changes we could potentially see in a Crash Team Racing or Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled 2. I'll start with the mechanics and the tracks. Now the mechanics should hopefully stay the same. Keep the same physics as Crash Team Racing, keep the reserve system, all the different levels of fire, etc. But is there anything new that should be added? Like, should Nitro Kart's Zero Gravity mode finally be implemented? The reason it was removed in the first place is because the original Nitro Kart's Zero Gravity mode was pretty broken and choppy, and it slowed down momentum, and the track design revolved around that very broken system. Which is why instead of just making a better Zero Gravity mechanic, they removed it entirely and changed the Nitro Kart tracks to match the mechanics of Crash Team Racing. But in a new Crash Team Racing, they could make entirely new tracks that don't revolve around that broken mechanic, and just implement a new Zero Gravity mechanic that would work fine. One that doesn't lag when you go up a steep incline or remove reserves and fire. And they could bring back old tracks and revamp them to match the mechanics of the new game, like Mario Kart sometimes does with its older tracks. But it is still possible the mechanics could stay 100% the same. No Zero Gravity, just straight Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. But even then, there's still some new stuff they could do with the gameplay, like different game modes. Crash Nitro Kart even had this really cool Team Race mode, which is actually pretty similar to how Team Sonic Racing did it over a decade later. You didn't need to come in first, just have the most combined points depending on your positions in the race. And there was this really fun frenzy mechanic. Whenever you and your teammate were in close proximity of each other, a little meter would fill up. When it was full, you'd get to spam a storm of random items in your frenzy mode. Speaking of which, a brand new Crash Team Racing sequel would also allow for new items to be implemented, possibly even stuff to help you catch up easier to the masters of Blue Fire. And with that comes a ton of other little changes they can make, like tutorials to help newer players learn Blue Fire, how to achieve it and how to maintain it, as well as some other advanced mechanics like the reserve system or U-turning. Since it would be a sequel instead of another remake where they would have to remain faithful, they could do their own thing and allow up to 10 players per race, or even 12. They could also have the class stats display the correct number. Yeah, believe it or not, that was something they had to stay faithful to in the original. Even back in the original CTR, all of Crash's stats in the game were displayed as even, just like in Nitro Fueled, when in actuality they were all over the place. Yeah, the classes have always been this unbalanced in Crash Team Racing, you just didn't have online back then to realize it. But in a sequel, they could fix that, balance all the classes, include new classes, etc. Now let's get on to characters, because this is the part that actually concerns me. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled already has a ton of characters, and even more coming with more Grand Prix on the way. So if all these characters are used as the base for the next game, what are they gonna do for the next game's Grand Prix or additional content? The Grand Prix would get pretty boring if they just made us unlock the Nitro Squad, the baby characters, and the Naughty Dog characters for them all over again. And with who knows how many Grand Prix we have left for this current Crash Team Racing game, who else could be added? I'm sure the next Crash Team Racing will have its own original story and bring more original characters like Crash Nitro Kart did with its own bosses. And I'm sure Spyro could return with a few more friends. And if they don't show up in this game, we could have the inclusion of the standard enemies, like the lab assistants or the boar. But even then, the new characters that the story of Crash Team Racing 2 would introduce would likely be there from the start, instead of additions from a Grand Prix. Now, it's likely in the current Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled that we're not going to get every Crash character imaginable in here, so there will be some left over that a sequel could implement, like Madame Amberly, Viscount from Crash Boom Bang. Maybe we could get Willy Wumpa Cheeks if this upcoming Grand Prix doesn't include him. But overall, there's no heavy hitters left. There's no one on the level of Crunch, Nina, or Pasadena they could include, unless they go with more crossovers in the same way they did with Spyro. There are plenty of opportunities and ways they can evolve the game modes, the mechanics, the tracks, but when it comes to the characters, I'm a bit stumped. What could they do next? They've given us so much already. I guess we'll have to see. However, there's still one part of the game that I think we all agree still needs evolving. The online. connection issues aside, with how bare bones it is, it's pretty clear that they weren't confident in this online mode despite the Insane Trilogy's success. They weren't expecting him to do this well in a multiplayer environment, especially in an online one where he's never been before. They could add a level and ranking system, add more rewards, have a proper leaderboard unlike the Nitro and Championship ones, have online profiles you can check, etc. And they could fix private lobbies too, so you could set a password for anyone to join instead of needing to have someone on your friends list first. They could add crossplay if they don't implement it into this one now that Sony allows it. They could have cup races, which people have been asking for, itemless races, which people have been asking for. There's still so much online stuff that needs to be implemented, and it would really benefit the game if it was. As far as customization and skins go, I have no clue what they could do there. It's sort of the same case as the characters. They've given us so much that I don't know what else they could do, but it would be kind of a bore and a slog if we had to unlock the exact same things all over again. But overall, despite how massive Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is right now, there's plenty of ways it could evolve and improve, and I can't wait to see what a sequel would bring to the table. Let me know your ideas and thoughts down in the comment section below. LeopoldTheBrave, out.